This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with our F1 2022 last question mark challenges. Now this time round, unfortunately, I obviously, as I've mentioned in the last few videos, I've been trying to get ahead, of course, being at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix this weekend. Unfortunately, on the same day I went to go and record this video, F1 decided to bring out a patch for the PC version of the game, just tweaking a few small things. And I mentioned at Australia, I'd already had some issues with the mod. This time around, it basically made it unplayable. So what I've done, as a bit of a one-off video today, we've actually gone back to F1 2021 on Xbox. So yeah, we haven't got any mods in place for this one. I'm going to try and get it fixed, of course, next time around we're at Miami. So we're going to have to do a different video there anyway. But I'm going to try and get it fixed. I think then after that, it's Canada or Baku, I want to say. I can't remember. No, it must be Spain even, I want to say, after that. So fingers crossed for Spain. In a couple of weekends' time, we're going to be able to get this mod sorted and get things going with it. You know, loving the F1 2022 mod so far. It's just the same Codemasters really don't, it would appear. But yeah, looking forward though to jumping back in. I've done a lot of racing around Imola over the last few weeks, and to be honest, I absolutely do not mind. It's very quickly becoming one of my favourite tracks on the F1 2021 game, and of course the F1 2022 calendar. But having a look then at the grid ready for this Grand Prix today, we've got Lewis Hamilton on pole ahead of Max Verstappen there, just a thousandth of a second between them at the end of qualifying. The second row is the other Mercedes of Bottas alongside Sergio Perez. McLaren lock out row 3 with Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. Our teammate Charles Leclerc in 7th ahead of Gasly and both Alpines rounding out the top 10 there. Tsunoda and Sebastian Vettel in 11th and 12th ahead of Lance Stroll and Kimi Räikkönen. Antonio Giovinazzi, the homeboy, ahead of George Russell there with Mick Schumacher, Nicolas Latifi, Nikita Mazepin unfortunately back on the grid, and then yes, us driving as Carlos Sainz. We start at the very back then, but fingers crossed, you know, this video can still be a bit of fun. Let's head down to the track. Right, well, here we are then, on the grid, ready here, back once more at Imola. I feel like I've said that a lot over the last week or so, but cannot wait to jump into this last question mark challenge here as Carlos Sainz. Like I said, had a few issues with F1 2021 on PC today, so we've actually gone back to Xbox for this one, and looks like we might get this weekend some changeable conditions as well here for the start of this one. So we're going to get a dry start to this race, but then it's quickly going to move over to the intermediate conditions. That could give us a chance to try and leapfrog some cars as well early on here. But let's dive into it then, starting from the back. Let me know where you think we'll finish down below as well. Of course, at the time of recording, at the time of you guys watching this, we'll have already had the sprint race this weekend. 5 red lights though, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. One of my better starts in F1 2021 as Latifi immediately tries to have a look past his, well, now former teammate George Russell there. Räikkönen and Vettel side by side just up the road as well, as we're going to try and send it round the outside of Nikita Mazepin. Need to try and make progress early on here in this GP as we immediately now think about having a look towards the inside of Latifi. No, we'll have a look round the outside in towards the next chicane there. Thank you very much. So 2 moves around the outside, and already the rain has arrived here, so a bit like we saw back in 2020, I want to say, where we had that little bit of, no, it was 2021, wasn't it, last year, sorry, where we had that rain arrive at the circuit just a couple of hours before the race here, side by side as we head up the hill with George Russell. But when is it going to get wet enough to make the move onto the intermediate tyres here? I've opted for quite a high downforce setup, I mean, as you sensibly would anyway at Imola, but the AI tend to run a pretty neutral kind of setting around this circuit. They are still making progress on that one, sending it with a bit of a kamikaze move on Mick Schumacher there as we head back down the hill, though. Pretty decent start then to this Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, up 4 places into 16th around a track that's not the easiest to overtake at. But yeah, I mean, already the question becomes, when are we going to have to try and make the call onto the intermediates here as homeboy Antonio Giovinazzi on our inside? It's going to be a drag race back down towards turn 1 there. Ferrari power versus Ferrari power, as we got more and more cars going side by side just up the road there. And look at that Giovinazzi. It's got some really good top speed, top end there. Tries to turn in. We're having none of it, though, as Seb and Kimi still side by side. It's been a chaotic start to the Grand Prix. Here is now Lance Stroll. Thought about lining up a move on his teammate, but we'll think better of that one. But yeah, lots of carnage at the start then of this Italian, well, not Italian Grand Prix, sorry, Imola GP there. As can we now get a run on Sir Lance as we head up the hill? Got to be careful of the battery usage here, as we're going to have a look around the outside of the Canadian. Oh, running all over the curbs there on the exit of the corner as we head now down in towards Acqua Minerale. Stroll going to try and hook it up around the outside, and we're going to say, no you don't. Up at a P14 then. Chaos but carnage at the start. What a great start for us though, up at a P14. And all over the back of the driver we replaced in Formula 1 as we try and get a good run out of this final turn. Here comes Sebastian Vettel though, trying to get a run again on Kimi Räikkönen. DRS has now been enabled. Here's we're going to use a lot of battery as we head back down towards turn 1. Are we going to find any sort of opportunity to make it 3 wide in towards the first corner? Sebastian Vettel has to turn in there, as I think Kimi Räikkönen almost gets turned around there, but a brave move in towards turn 1 there. Had to try and risk it there, and we do make up the 1 spot, but now we've got to try and get past Sebastian Vettel. As look at this. Up the hill. Oh, he just tries to go defensive. We'll have a look around the outside. Through the hairpin there, get the power down on the exit. Sebastian Vettel has to give us the room, and deja vu went round the outside of his teammate 1 lap ago, and now we'll go round the outside of Sebastian Vettel there. Clean move round the outside now, up into P12. What a start. End of lap 4 then. Track starting to get a little bit more slippery here from Imola. As you can see, we're only a couple of places behind our teammate Charles Leclerc now. Definitely made a lot of progress early on there. See a big snap of oversteer out of the final corner, but when is the track going to get wet enough to make the move there? We have been a bit frivolous with the battery as well early on here. We're already down to less than half a charge. I always forget these standard cars on F1 2021 definitely get through a lot more battery than obviously the My Team car, and even the Williams now is a pretty sophisticated piece of machinery in comparison. But yeah, trying to close up the gap to Tsunoda there. It's really attacking the curbs through the first sector.
Tough, but bear with it. I don't think the track is ready for intermediates yet.
I mean, to be fair, I think we're braving the storm a lot better than most people, both metaphorically and literally here, making big gains on Tsunoda. Of course, really, this is AlphaTauri's home race as well, as we're all over the back of Yuki at the top of the hill. They really attack the curbs. I really wish we'd had the old school chicane. I was watching Jenson Button's qualifying lap from 2004, and that chicane was just a real flick. Oh, Tsunoda, I thought he would give us the room there down the hill, but apparently not. Yuki, probably one of Formula 1's most aggressive and underappreciated defenders at the moment, as he tries to put the power down out of the final turn. Do we use a bit of battery? I think we're going to have to use a bit of battery here.
It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
We're definitely going to make the move on to Inters, though, when we do pit. As all Tsunoda, it goes one way, goes the other, but we get round the outside there and tap the curbs through turn 2 and absolutely pounced on that opportunity like a cat out of the first sector there. Now a bit of P11 of the Grand Prix. Like I said, Tsunoda was a bit indecisive there, went defensive. We went to the inside, we went to the outside, and then we just launched it over the curbs and prayed that Tsunoda didn't turn in on me. But now up to P11 of the GP as we almost loop it, trying to head out up the hill.
Okay, I think it might be just about time to come and change these tyres.
Oh, team saying it might be time to change these tyres. If we do box, we are definitely going to be boxing onto a set of Inters, as a few little puddles now starting to form. Starting lap 8 then, all over the back of Fernando Alonso here as we head back down towards turn 1. Are we going to be able to get a run to the inside of the Alpine? Again, another little switchback move there as we just get a kick of oversteer through the second part there. Didn't mean to squeeze out Fernando in the way I did. Team happy with it though, apparently, so I guess we'll take it. But now up into the points then of this Grand Prix there, as when are we going to see cars into the pit lane? A few puddles starting to form around the venue, so we could see a couple of cars make the gamble onto Inters. To be honest, I'm thinking about doing it now. Track definitely not particularly slow just yet, but I can't help but wonder if we're losing a little bit of ground now on these tyres. And, of course, if we don't get ahead of Charles, we're going to be losing a load of time when he boxes.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, and there we go. Team want us in, I'm guessing, at the end of this lap. Yep, they're saying intermediates at the end of lap 80. So we're going to see Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton right from the front of the field here. But is Charles Leclerc going to box in as well? Is it worth staying out and not losing the time behind our teammate here, unless we can be super cheeky and try and jump him into the pit lane there? I don't think there's going to be any room to do that. DRS hasn't even been disabled yet.
Charles is in for his stop.
So I don't think we're going to lose too much on this lap then. Of course, there's going to be a lot of cars in the lane. So we just got to try and do one more qualifying style lap here, but it's high risk, high reward at the moment.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
There we go. DRS has been disabled, so we have now reached the crossover point in this Grand Prix.
That confirmed.
Why don't the team want us to pit this lap? Why would they say, no, stay out another one, mate, it's fine? Guessing it's because Charles Leclerc hasn't left the pit lane for enough time. There's all a big wobble at the top of the hill there, but we're still closing in on Daniel Ricciardo, so we apparently are not hitting the apex through there, though. That corner is... Acqua Minerale, I think, is arguably one of the most difficult corners in the world. Through the Ravazzas, though, once more. Can we get the car slowed down nice and tidily into the pit lane there? Bottas and Perez at the front have boxed in as well. Of course, Daniel Ricciardo is going to box it in at the same time. There we only just get the car slowed down there. It's Tsunoda and Vettel behind us. Verstappen, there he goes. So I think we're going to lose out a little bit to all of these guys. But Ricciardo has just lost a lot of time getting caught out behind Tsunoda. Why wouldn't they let us go? We weren't even getting held up by anyone. That was a good opportunity there to take some time out of Ricciardo, but such a long pit lane here as well at Imola. Here comes Charles Leclerc, sorry, and also, of course, the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. So we haven't really gained, haven't really lost anything.
See these tyres through to the end now.
Ricciardo has definitely lost out, though, in all of that, as well as Alonso seems to have dropped back. So it's all a bit unpredictable at the moment, but when all is said and done, we're still 10th. As I said, though, we have made the setup quite wet-orientated, so we are going to hopefully take time out of Ricciardo and Leclerc there. Things just like slightly higher wings and everything like that. But if you remember, Sainz last year here at Imola had a bit of a disaster running. Actually, throughout a lot of the early stage of the Grand Prix, had nothing compared to Charles Leclerc, but this time round, we're making good gains on everyone in front of us.
3.8 seconds.
6 laps to go then, here from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and there is definitely a lot more points and prizes available. Oh, look at that. Ricciardo, big wobble at the top of the hill there. We actually make a little bit of contact with his rear end there, as round the outside, in towards Acqua Minerale. Thank you very much. We will have that.
You made it look easy.
I remember Callum Ilott pulled that move off on me in the My Team career mode the first time he came to Imola, but I never thought I'd be able to do it against an AI there, and that is probably move of the race, at least for me. To be fair, we've had quite a few decent overtakes in this Grand Prix so far there, but round the outside of Daniel Ricciardo in towards Acqua Minerale there. Clearly the McLaren driver was struggling, and we just kind of absolutely once more had to pounce on the opportunity, as now we're going to try and get a good run at the final corner on our teammate Charles Leclerc. Is he gaining enough on Esteban Ocon as we head back down towards turn 1 then? No, he's not. We are gaining on our championship leader and teammate Charles Leclerc here, back in towards turn 1. He tries to go defensive. We get the car to the inside there. Leclerc rattles over the curbs through turn 2, and we will just give him space, but make sure we put the power down. As Charles Leclerc again trying to get back up the inside in towards turn 3 there. We'll show him the door, and then slam it in his face. It's allowed Esteban Ocon just to get a little bit of breathing room, but hopefully it's not going to be long before we're all over the back of the Frenchman. Pierre Gasly, 4 seconds up the road. I think he's got to be the target by the end. This car is so fast in these tricky conditions, gaining on Ocon.
But we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
I don't think we're going to need to worry about tyres before the end, Jeff, but not quite close enough this time around to think about a send on Ocon. But look how much we gain under braking there. Supreme confidence around this track there as we just get a little bit out in towards the gravel trap, but oh, come on. just got to try and make a move work here. Look at this. Esteban Ocon has got nothing he can do there as we have a look to the inside, in towards the hairpin. Desperately try and get the car slowed down towards the apex there, but in the end, we have to slam the door and squeeze him out, and now I'm into P7 then of the GP. 3.5 laps to go. 3.5 seconds, the gap to Pierre. 2 laps to go then here from Imola, and it's gonna be Italian car versus Italian car here. The Frenchman of Pierre Gasly just in front of us. The Spaniard of Carlos Sainz hunting him down though. And what is it with Imola on this channel and getting late race battles as well there? It's pretty much happened, I think, every time I've come back to this venue. To be fair, I wouldn't have it any other way though, as we couldn't quite get close enough that time round in towards turn 1 here. But now we're just going to try and sit all over the gearbox of Pierre as the lap goes on. Oh, thought about trying to get a move there in towards the hairpin. Just nicked a wheel on the grass though as we try and put the power down up the hill. Let's see if there's going to be any opportunity to try and get a run, or is it going to have to be a last-ditch attempt down in towards turn 1. I've tried to save just a little bit of battery back so we can go all-out attack mode in towards turn 1 if we need to. But look at that, Pierre going super defensive. How on earth has he hung on to that? Down at the bottom of the hill there, Pierre Gasly wanted to throw absolutely everything at this to try and hang on to 6th place here. It's been a quiet start to the 2022 season for AlphaTauri. I don't think they've quite developed the car they wanted to, ready for this new season. But are we going to be able to have a look now at the inside, in towards the Ravazzas here? Oh, I thought about it, but Pierre, that time around just late enough on the brakes there. It just knocks us a little bit out of shape as we head in towards the final corner there. Try to avoid the wheel spin out of the final turn, and now it's just going to be full battery usage. Final lap then.
Final lap of the race.
Here from Imola, is Pierre Gasly going to go defensive? Yeah, just that little move to the inside there means he is going to be on the defensive. But look at that, give me a big squeeze in towards turn 1 there. We'll try and do the up and under on him on the exit of the corner, but he squeezes me out to the curbing. Is Pierre going to be able to get the run back around the outside in towards the second chicane? No, he's not. He lifts out of it, and we are now up into P6 then of this Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix there. A dramatic final lap overtake through turn 1 there. Played Pierre Gasly like a book through that first corner there. Knew he'd try and break late there with how aggressively he was trying to squeeze me in towards turn 1. You know, we've made moves around the outside in towards that first corner, so wanted to leave him guessing. But this time round there, we just let him run deep and then completely switch back on the exit of the corner. Max Verstappen, though, is going to come through. He continues his streak of DNF race victory. DNF race victory here, but it's going to be a small dent in the championship lead that Pierre Gasly has already built up there. Hamilton comes through for P2. Sergio Perez will join his teammate on the podium in P3 there. But as we head down in towards the final corners, it's Bottas in 4th. Lando Norris, another great drive for McLaren there in 5th. And we come from the very back, 6th place here at Imola. What a race that was.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
It's a performance that our Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of, and I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Max Verstappen's excellent result today sees him take over as leader of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson, Who do you pick?
Carlos Sainz certainly wasn't someone to scoff about. His ability to follow race strategies throughout with pinpoint precision has to be commended.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here from Imola. And Max Verstappen walks home with the race victory there from P2 on the grid. The only man, actually, to dip into the 117s as well there. But from last on the grid to P6 at the checkered flag, I'd argue that's probably the best last to question mark challenge we've done so far on F1. Well, this time around, it wasn't quite F1 2022. We will be back, though, very, very soon with the mod once more. Don't worry about that. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Like I said, you know, all these videos over the last few days have been pre-recorded, of course. Yeah, really looking forward to heading out to Imola this weekend. Hopefully the race is also good tomorrow at the time of you guys watching this as well. It all gets a little bit complicated. But as always, a massive thank you to all of you for the continued support. Like I said, if you've enjoyed, please do leave a like. It massively helps the channel out as well. And yeah, we'll be back Monday. I think we're hopefully going to be back with some more My Team Career Mode content, but I'm probably going to get back and be a little bit tired Monday morning. But yeah, thank you all so much, and we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 1 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.